In this video, let's see how can we do patching for a complex list or a big list and divide that fields into different screens. Suppose if you have say suppose 20 fields are there, I want to divide that into 4 fields like that. Okay, so for that, first let's add that complex or big list into this our PowerApps. Okay, so once if you add, and let's go and create the new screen. So I'm creating a new screen here. So now into the new screen, let's add a form by clicking insert. So click edit here and assign a source to this form. I assign the shape point list here. It's known as simple list here. So you can see now I actually, yes, here you can see all these things, right? All the fields, first all the fields here. So now let's remove the fields which are not necessary in this first screen. Okay, so one by one remove that. So on the left side you can go to the one by one the fields and try to remove, delete. Okay, so now see, it's not necessary in this first. Okay, yeah. The simple list is actually about employees, right? So I'm keeping a label here. So I'm giving its name as employee information. Now we are done with the first screen here, and we have kept whatever the fields necessary in the first screen. Okay, now let's apply some colors for this screen. Okay, I have to put dark green. Okay, now we have 1 2 3 4 5 fields in the first screen. Now let's add a button. When I click this button, it must go to the second screen. So in this button we will write a formula to navigate to the next screen. So we already know that we have a navigate function. Now let's add one more screen. So in this screen let's add the same procedure, add forms, edit, and the simple list I have selected from my shape point. So we again got all the fields here, and now let's remove one by one. We don't need the first 5 fields, so let's remove them. We can also use this fields section, and we can also remove here, and also we can remove from the hierarchical view also on the left side. So let's remove one by one now. So let's little bit bring it down the form. So here the key point will be there. How they will know whether it is first connected with the first screen or not. So that is where the things will come. Now let's add one label here first. So this is the employee contact info fields, and let's add one button here in the down so that it will go to the next screen. Just like what we have done for the first screen, same thing, we will add the button here and here. But again, let's add one more screen and let's add a form again, and let's assign a SharePoint list to this form, and again remove the fields which are not necessary in this because they are already available in the screen 2, screen 3. So now again remove things one by one. So now I want to keep only one field here. It's all about the employee. So this is about the employee, and I'm setting a label. Okay. So again, the key point here, many people will get out how these three screens will know they belongs to the same list. Just wait for some time, I will tell you the trick here. So again, I will add a button here, the final button. I will rename this as final button or final patch, final submit, right? So this is our screen 2, screen 3, screen 4, right? These three screens now we need to connect. So the thing is, go to screen 3 and here we will have a property here. So actually from the second form, select the second form. Okay, so in the data source we need to give defaults so that it will be connected to the first form. So the first form is in the screen 2 for us. There is no need to write the defaults, but from the next screens onwards we need to write defaults in the data source. So repeat same again for this third form here. Go to the data source of that form 3 and defaults, write a defaults, and in that give the SharePoint list. Now these three forms are connected with the same list, right? So if you do submit, and all this data will be inserted into the same lists, that is simple list which is available, which is in our SharePoint. Okay, now let's add the code in the final button and all the buttons. Actually in the screen 2 we need to write a navigate function so that it will take us to the next screen, screen 3. Okay, and also write some screen transition.fade. So now for the third screen, just navigate, we need to write it must go to the fourth screen. Yeah, now we are getting ready for the final submit button. So where exactly we will write this patch code, this patching this multiple screens here. Okay, now we are coming to the real important step. Now this is the final submit, but here for this form also we need to connect, right? So this is the important step. Now let's write here, invoke the patch. So write the patch. We already know that patch will take input as a data source, and because we are inserting the new data, we will write here defaults and give the same data source. Now write the form1 dot updates, form2 dot updates, because we have 1 2 3 forms. Form3 dot updates. Now, because we are writing the form updates, after the form updates, generally we will reset the form, right? There are three forms, right? The final, we need to reset all these three forms, so that again when they come to a given entry, it will be clean without any previous data. So let's write that. And the good part in patch is we can patch a field outside of this form also, because don't think that there are some 5 fields in a form, and if I write a field outside of this form, and if we mention that in the patch, so it will also, along with the form controls, it will also patch the control which is outside. So let's write one notification like data submitted success. I think we need to write that outside. Okay, if you want, you can write form1 dot reset, form2 dot reset. That's not much necessary, but in this class. But if you sometimes, if your customers are asking, you can write those things. So now let's check whether our syntax of writing this code is right or wrong. Maybe I'm seeing a red line, so there is something which we need to correct here. Okay, so now I have written the notify outside of this patch. Now it's right. Okay, now let's see how it will work. Yeah, this is the first one. So because here nothing is visible, we need to change the form settings, and on the right side there is a property for every form. Go to the right side and change the default mode to new. For every form, do the same thing, repeat. Go to the right side and default mode is new. Default mode is new. Okay, so right now let's go to the first form, and this is the first form, and let's type something here, some information here. So this is a multi-step patching. So now let's click next. It will take to the next form, next screen here, which contains the form 2. So let's give some entries here. Okay, now here give the some email and click next, and it will take to the next screen or form. So this is the final one, and this is the final submit. And let's check, if I click the final submit, all this data will be submitted into the one list. Now we have got the information, data submitted, and you can check now in the list. Yeah, we got this information, Mr. Sunil and all those things, and this is how we can do this multi-screen patching, right? And we have a column employee rank, and let's see that also how we can patch outside of the form. So on the same screen, on the last screen, I will include this control text box. So now we are actually merging the data within the form and outside the form using the patch, right? So now let's see. I will take an input text box, but outside of this form, and let's bring here near and a label here. This is employee rank. The main intention of this writing outside of the form is that patch will actually help us in inserting the form as well as the outside controls. So now write the after the form 3 subjects, right here, open the parenthesis because this is a single field here. So we need to mention what is the field we want to patch with. So I want to patch the field name employee rank with this text box name. Okay, let's check what is the name of the text box. Text input 2.text. Text input 2.text here. And now let's submit the same information. Since we have not written here form 1.reset, so that same information again it contained here. If I write the form 1.reset, and the information will be clean. So now go to this second, third form, and here the second form here. Something data, mention something data here. Completeness. So here about AMD profile, write something which is in the form, and the employee rank is out of the form here, the control, and write something in the employee rank also, so that we can see how the patching will happens within the form and outside the form. Final submit, and data submitted now. And let's go and see our SharePoint list whether yes we got information. This is how we need to do this multiple screen patching. Okay, so patching is a very good thing PowerApps has given to us. Make use of this patch and do all your complex functionalities using this patch. And this is the screen 1, screen 2. Practice this patching. So all the good luck for you students in your career. So hope you all got these concepts, PowerApps concepts, important concepts.